Hi and welcome to Wellbeing for Home by Aon. Tips and tactics for thriving in a work from home environment. I'm Paul Gordon and I'm your host today. I'm the head of financial wellbeing for Aon in Australia and the Pacific. And I'm delighted to be bringing you this series on behalf of Aon. So, a little bit about Aon. Aon is a consulting firm. We operate in 120 countries and we specialize in three major topics: risk, retirement, and health. So we hear a lot about the new normal, but Aon's definition of the new normal is a little different. And that is, we believe it should be a better normal. And this series is part of giving our clients and their employees a better normal. So it's a series designed to be delivered into your home in bite-sized chunks of 20 to 30 minutes. There's 4 of them, and they hit on the 4 topics that we know our clients are interested in. So move over, Uber Eats. Aon is home delivery. So the series was developed around Aon's wellbeing framework, which is very well researched. And it's under these 4 pillars of emotional, financial, physical, and social. And today, we'll be focusing on social well-being, and the topic, and this is a topic that has been very much requested, is achieving balance in isolation. So let's meet our presenters. Deb White is a client director in Aon's health and benefits team and specializes in talking to clients about benefits related to health. Stephen Dowling is a client manager in our health and safety team, and probably even more relevant to today's topic is an Are You OK ambassador. So Stephen, I would assume you are very okay, and hi.
Thanks, Paul. And achieving balance in isolation is a challenge for everyone. After experiencing social distancing for a while now, an economic downturn with friends or family losing jobs, homeschooling, for many of us, this new normal isn't just a change, it's a paradigm shift, overlaid with the uncertainty and longevity of the current situation.
I agree, Stephen. We're all in a different situation and we're all facing different challenges because we are all different. We're not all in the same boat, regardless of our situation, be you single or being parents with children at home, regardless, what we are all in is the same storm. So we really need to start thinking about how to help focus our minds to avoid negative thinking, to focus on the positive and to focus on what we can control, not on what we can't, and also to prevent bad behaviour patterns from setting in. Stephen, can you think about any questions we can maybe ask ourselves that might help?
Look, I think you need to look around. What do you have access to? Perhaps there are ways to make things on your to-do list less of a chore and more fun. Why not download a podcast and listen while you're relaxing, gardening, or even exercising?
Thanks, Stephen. That's really helpful. Another question we might be able to ask ourselves is, what's a quick win that would give us a sense of achievement? Are there tasks that have dropped off your to-do list because you never thought you'd have the time, like sorting through your pantry or kitchen cupboards, backing up your computer hard drive, decluttering your wardrobe, spare room, garage, weeding the garden, cleaning the gutters? I know my list goes on and on. How about you, Stephen? Have you got anything on your to-do list?
Look, Deb, I've just about crossed off every 5-minute repair task on our list for our home. In the past, for me, it's really been just pure avoidance. I could just never find the time to get those little things done. So what's next? Some new artwork on the wall behind me.
That sounds really creative, Stephen. You may never have this much time at home ever again. Even biting off one small task each day can really help you feel a sense of control and to feel less weight on your shoulders. Besides, it's an awesome feeling ticking something off your to-do list. What would you normally be doing now that you can't do? To turn that around to a positive mindset, think of ways to organise things that you'd normally be doing and create virtual versions. Last week, it was my brother-in-law's birthday, so instead of having a family and friends get together over dinner, we did a Zoom meeting over drinks and nibbles. It was lots of fun doing something new, and it was really great to connect. Much more fun than work video conferencing, Stephen, that's for sure. Sitting in front of a computer or phone staring at your face isn't everyone's idea of a good way to connect socially, so there may be other things you can do, like watching a TV series with someone over an online chat. New ways of doing activities you usually enjoy can also help to mix things up a bit, like sending a letter rather than an email, particularly to an older relative who might appreciate extra communication right now. It can even be a quick win for those of us with younger children, as they can practice their writing skills, draw a few pictures which might bite you half an hour piece, and then later for exercise, you can go for a walk to post it. The possibilities of virtual games nights are almost endless, perhaps reframing pub trivia nights with Name That Song, charades, or perhaps online heads up. You can also get inventive about board games you already own. Many can be played over a video call after a few tweaks here and there, online, or even downloading a phone app. Changing tack now. What are some of the things that you're struggling with? Spending some time thinking about what that might be and what you're not dealing with can allow you to be more deliberate about the activities that you do plan for yourself. For example, if your mind often wanders into a territory of worrying, perhaps you could benefit from using this time to fine-tune your mindfulness skills to help keep your mind focused so it's less likely to wander. There are some great self-care suggestions available that we'll share at the end of the session. The key point is, every problem has some actions to lessen the impact it has on you. It may just be a matter of informing yourself about the options that are available. Lots of people are going through similar emotions and experiences now. You're not alone, so there are a lot of ideas out there if you get researching or if you reach out for help. The main thing to remember is, if you don't feel up to doing anything, then that's okay too. This is an unprecedented time, and we're all trying to cope as best as we can, and we all cope in different ways. Being kind to yourself and others is the most important thing. Everyone is different and will have different ways to get through the challenges we are currently facing. I encourage you to take the pressure off yourself. There is no one size fits all, no silver bullet. It's about finding ways to spend your time that is most right for you. If you're struggling right now, you are not alone, and Stephen will share some support services available to you shortly. With many schools now closed and many employees mandated to work from home, juggling childcare and work just became a challenge many of us thought we'd never have to face, myself included. Simply fitting everything in is a struggle for many, but the additional pressure we can put on ourselves to maintain quality or even to go above and beyond in our work and parenting risks impacting our well-being and isn't sustainable. Stephen and I have put together a few small tips we hope will relieve this pressure, control the controllable, and really help you maintain balance and perspective during this period. Explain it to your children. No matter what age they are, your children will know something's going on. Sharing age-appropriate information about the current situation will help them to understand why things are a bit different, broaden their understanding and experience of change, responsibility and sacrifice, and absolve you of responsibility to keep up pre-COVID-19 routines and activities.
Deb, are you able to share an example from your kitchen table?
Sure, Stephen. As you know, I have young children that are really fussy eaters. So you can imagine the drama in my house when I changed the pasta sauce on our family staple of spaghetti bolognese. However, what really helped was explaining to them that because we're all spending more time at home to look after ourselves and others, it might take a little while before our favourite Italian pasta sauce is back in store. So it helped them to understand and manage expectations and to appreciate and be grateful just for simple pleasures. Beyond Blue also has some really great conversation tips for children, and will also provide some helpful links at the end of the session. Block out personal and professional time in your calendar. Depending on the number of carers in your household and the age of your children, it may be difficult or near on impossible to separate yourself from your children for any length of time. If possible, create split shifts with other carers in your household so one of you is able to work while the other looks after the children. If you're on your own, don't push yourself to spend every moment and do every activity with your children. Where age appropriate, this is a really good opportunity for them to learn how to entertain themselves. Create a designated workspace. Find a space in your home where privacy during meetings or phone calls can be ensured and boundaries your children can respect. Keeping this area organised and clean will help put you in the right frame of mind for work and help maintain your professional persona on video calls. No one should be worried about what their colleagues think of their homes right now, but creating a virtual backdrop for your video calls might also help to relieve the pressure. Dress for comfort. Jumping between work and childcare doesn't have to mean jumping in and out of your active wear into business attire. You may want to maintain a professional appearance on video calls, but dark or plain comfortable staples will do the trick and work for childcare and even pet care too. Build in time for some fun. Allocating a manageable amount of time every day to more social activities can feel like a chore in the first instance, really maybe overwhelming, and a hard part of your routine to stick to when other priorities arise, but it will actually pay big dividends in the long term. Routinely playing a quick, repeatable game every day, or maybe once a week with your team at work, a friend, or children will be food for the soul and will help you maintain and build relationships without having constant pandemic-centric conversations. In my household since COVID-19, I've been playing Uno with my kids every morning, and they love it, even when I beat them. I'm now going to hand over to Stephen to share some insights on connection.
Thanks, Deb. Connection's the key during isolation. People rely on connection to thrive, and connection is the glue that enables effective teamwork and unites teams around a common purpose through meaningful work. But it's down to quality over quantity. Technology allows us to work remotely with access to emails, calendars, file servers, and video conferencing software from home. However, the downside is the potential loss of workplace connection and collaboration with colleagues. Finding ways to maintain authentic connections is critical, particularly when stress levels are higher. Deb, how do you stay connected with your team?
Stephen, I've really tried just a few simple things to make the connections really fun and genuine. So we've had a virtual team birthday with a bring your own cake, a weekly video quiz, and more recently, we started playing coffee roulette where we match team members randomly and we share an online coffee date.
That's great, Deb. Then there's the art of the home-to-home check-in. Nothing can replace the care of others during these uncertain times. Heightened health concerns combined with social isolation increase the need for people to regularly check in with others. I ask my teammates 3 simple questions. What is the one thing I've done over the past week that is really helping you? What would you like me to do more of? And thirdly, how can I help you be more effective whilst working from home? You also need to make the effort to overcome the cringe factor. The key is finding fun activities to do with your team. We're in uncharted territory here. It will seem clunky and artificial at first, but sincerity and authenticity can overcome any feelings of cringe. We use a weekly trivia quiz to have some fun. Staying connected and asking, are you okay, is a really important aspect of what we do in our day-to-day. I've been a volunteer Are You OK ambassador for 10 years, helping workplaces and communities across city, regional, rural and remote communities. The impact of mental health and emotional health on people is significant. All dimensions of well-being, financial, social and physical, will be affected by issues involving emotional or mental health. Everyone is fighting a battle that you may know nothing about, and my best advice is to be kind always. Are You OK 365 reminds us to stay in touch with our workmates, our friends and our family and community, and continue to ask, are you okay, especially if someone's struggling. What are the signs to look out for during social isolation that someone could be struggling? Posting more or less than usual online, ignoring messages or cancelling virtual hangouts, constant talk of job loss or reduction of hours of work or income, grief expressed in the loss of someone through illness, death or relationship breakdown, or something that they really care about. I spoke with a person last week that talked of their loss of volunteering at the local RSPCA animal shelter and how it impacted their sense of identity in themselves. People may have major health issues and they could be feeling anxious, overwhelmed, stressed, or lonely, or all of the above. Starting a conversation can really make a difference.
Stephen, people ask me a lot if you need to be an expert or have training to start a conversation. What's your experience on this?
Deb, you don't have to be an expert to ask somebody, are you okay? By inspiring people to take the time to ask, are you okay, and listening, we can help people struggling with life feel connected and supported to seek the professional clinical support that they may need. It all comes down to regular, meaningful conversations about life. Starting a conversation with the Are You OK method uses these 4 steps. Step 1, asking whether a person's okay. Step 2, listening. Step 3, encouraging action. And step 4, checking in. Let's quickly go through each step. It's important that before you ask someone if they are okay, you make sure you're okay yourself, that you're in the right headspace and you have the time for the conversation. Be relaxed. Help them open up by asking questions like, how are you going? What's been happening? I've noticed you haven't been yourself lately. Or make an observation. Mention the specific issue that may have made you concerned about the individual and wanting to reach out to help them. I've noticed that you seem really tired lately, or you seem less chatty than usual. How are you going?
Stephen, it can be really confronting to start a conversation with someone you're worried about. What happens if they say they're not okay?
Yeah, great point, Deb. Chances are, if you've seen the signs that they may be struggling, they're likely to say to you that they're not okay. And that's okay too. It's important to allow people to express how they really think and feel. Let's go through the next steps of the Are You OK program to show you that you have what it takes to support them. Step 2 is listening. Take what they say seriously. Don't interrupt or try to rush the conversation. If they need time to think, try and sit patiently with the silence. Encourage them to explain what's going on and how they're feeling. And if they get angry or upset, stay calm and don't take it personally. Let them know you're asking because you're concerned about them. What do you find the most challenging aspect of listening is, Deb?
For me, Stephen, I find being prepared to listen without trying to solve the problem. Most times you don't have the answers anyway. So often for me, it's just acknowledging that things are tough right now and can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Step 3 in the Are You OK program is encouraging action. At the right time, it's important to encourage action by asking them, where do you think we can go from here? What would be a first good step that you could take or we could take? What do you need from me and how can I help? Some good options for action might include them talking to a trusted family member or a trusted friend or professional support. It's important to recognise when problems are too big for you. Helping them find professional support is very important, and this might include suggesting they talk to their doctor or other appropriate professional clinician. Step 4 is checking in. Remember to check in and see how they're going in a few days' time. Ask how they've been going and if they've found a better way to manage the situation. Deb, if the person you're trying to support hasn't done anything when you check in with them, what do you say?
Stephen, firstly, I don't judge them. I just say, I've been thinking of you and wanted to know how you've been going since we last talked. They might just need someone to listen to for the moment.
Thanks, Deb. That's a really good approach. It's important to understand that sometimes it can take a long time for someone to be ready to see a professional. Simply try to reinforce the benefits of seeking professional help and try different avenues. But remember, don't lecture them. We've outlined free and confidential counselling services that are available 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. So if you know people in your work teams, family or friends, or yourself, please reach out if you need them. If you think the person needs immediate clinical care and is at risk of harming themselves or others, then please call emergency services in Australia on 000 or in New Zealand on 111. And I'd like to set you a Are You OK conversation challenge. taking a conversation challenge that will help you stay connected and give you the opportunity to ask, are you okay? Deb, what challenge do you think you'll select from the list below?
Stephen, I think I'm going to call someone I've lost contact with and reconnect. This could be a simple conversation that changes a life. Self-care is important, and Stephen, we've talked a lot about that and helping others. So it's really important that we self-care. So please be good to yourself. The ones that really resonated for me are to recognise when you need support and ask for it, to reduce guilt, to be clear on what you can and cannot control, and to say no. You're no good to anyone if you're exhausted and resentful. What's also really important is to communicate openly and honestly, to avoid conflict and confusion, to be hopeful. A positive attitude really helps to create positive outcomes. And remember to relax and breathe deeply. We've covered a lot in today's session. Stephen, so what's your reflection on supporting others?
Thanks, Deb. Look, my reflection from today's webinar is that many people may be afraid to reach out for help or raise mental health issues, and most feel that we won't be supportive and can't help. No one, I repeat, no one should feel ashamed or guilty in asking for help or mental health support. If you're concerned about someone, simply ask them, are you okay? We've embedded in this session specific COVID-19 mental health resources and fact sheets that may be helpful to you. You may want to extend them to family and friends and work colleagues in these challenging times. And to conclude today, I'd like to call you to action. We leave you with a call to action. Are you okay is a conversation that can change your life. Who will you ask? Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Stephen, and thank you, Deb. It's a very important topic. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking that there's a couple of my friends that have started to look a little bit wobbly. And some of these tips are so helpful in being able to just guide them through. And it is okay to ask the question. So thanks again. So at the start, I mentioned that we had 4 pillars of well-being. And today we witnessed the social well-being pillar, which is achieving balance in isolation. But there's 3 others that you may want to catch up on. The first is emotional well-being. And the topic there is a very hot topic, sleep, the wonder drug. The second topic is financial well-being. And the topic is called Money Tips for Challenging Times, or Don't Waste a Good Crisis. And that's a key one because money can cause anxiety. And the third is our physical well-being pillar, and that topic is called Working Safely from Home. And that's where you can set up your home office and make sure that you and your family are safe and working effectively. A very timely topic indeed. So thank you. Thank you on behalf of Aon for taking the time to invest in your own well-being at home. To learn more, we have aoninsights.com.au/wellbeing for home that has a lot of material and resources. And also you can ask us questions on that email address. So on behalf of all of us at Aon, please be well and take care. Thank you.